Morning, everybody. How are you all doing today? I'm pretty good. Last night, there was a massive snowstorm where I live, so everyone's just stuck inside. There's like 6 or 7 inches of snow outside right now. So I figured, hey, why not make another YouTube video? The channel's been doing fantastic recently. And again, like I said last video, I cannot thank you guys enough. Like now my first video has broken 200 views, and the last one I posted at the time of recording this just broke 100 views, which is absolutely insane. Now we're up to 18 subscribers, which I understand, like that's basically nothing, but to me it means so much considering I only started the channel I started posting a week ago or something like that, a little over a week ago. So it really means a lot, so thank you guys for that. But anyway, today we are going to be witnessing a Sony fanboy having a mental breakdown over Microsoft buying Activision. I know I'm kind of milking the subject at this point, but there's so many just great fanboy videos to make fun of and laugh at. So, and like I said last video, just don't go harass any of the people I make videos on, because like this video is really bad, but I have nothing against the dude personally. I hope he takes this video well if he sees it, and I hope he improves as a result of me making these videos. Like that's why I make these videos, is to like call people out when I don't agree with them, and hopefully they can do better in the future. Like I don't hate anyone because they had a bad take on something. But basically, the main point of this video can be boiled down to Microsoft buying Activision is bad because it creates healthy competition. And no, I'm not kidding. He quite literally says that. But you know what? Long enough intro as it is. Let's just get into the video, shall we?
So before the video even starts, guys, can you guys please do me a favor? Watch the video all the way through if you can.
Trust me, dude, we can, and we're going to, but it's not going to help your case whatsoever.
And also, if you like the video, please hit the like button and possibly share the video. And if you really want to see more content from me, definitely subscribe. This helps us with the YouTube algorithm, because likes and things like that are the things that drive us to be seen by other people and by people that normally wouldn't be able to see our videos, given that we're a smaller channel. So with that being said, guys, let's get into it.
I don't understand why people do this. Like, the video just started. If the person who's watching isn't subscribed to you, then there's a good chance this is the first video they're seeing from you. Just get to the point of your video, make your argument, and then towards the end, like, ask for likes and subs, because at that point the person will have made their decision with whether they want to or not. Like, a lot of the time, asking for likes and subs at the beginning of a video actually like deters a lot of people. I know it deters me. Like, if I hear someone ask for a like or a sub at the beginning of the video, that automatically just makes me want to like the video less. I don't know, maybe that's just me being petty or something. I don't know, man, but it just small nitpick, I know, but let's keep going.
So Microsoft and Uncle Phil, doing their best Bob Iger and Disney impersonation, have now purchased for $68.7 billion with a B dollars Activision Blizzard. So for those keeping score at home, now Microsoft owns Bethesda and they also own Activision Blizzard. So between the two of them, that's more than 30 IP. So for all the Xbox and people that are still involved in the console wars for whatever stupid reason, clamoring that this is a good thing for Microsoft, let me break this down for you real quick.
Are you really going to call other people out for being in a part of the console wars when you are quite literally a Sony fanboy, dude? My God.
So, I use Disney deliberately, and there's a reason for that. So, remember Bob Iger, the former CEO of Disney? Well, what was his game plan for success? Well, he purchased a lot of existing IP so that he could basically purchase hits. So let's look at that, shall we? So Bob Iger purchased Marvel, and he was able to procure Star Wars from George Lucas under rather dubious circumstances. So let's look at Marvel. Marvel made some hits. I mean hits. They made some hits under Disney. But where are they now? Well, all you need to do is look at 2021.
So I know that was a longer clip, and I'm sorry for that, but you really need to hear the whole thing, because this is just so disingenuous on this guy. He literally admits, oh yeah, no, Marvel made some hits under Disney, but we're going to skip over the hits and we're going to look at 2021, a year where they released some more mediocre films. Like, you do realize, so Disney has owned Marvel since 2009, right? So they've helped Marvel with every single movie from 2009 onwards, and arguably all of Marvel's greatest movies have been from 2009 onwards. I mean, do I even need to mention all the Avengers movies, the Captain America movies? Like, do we really need to go into this Black Panther? Like, I'm not even going to bother going down this rabbit hole. But so because they had one like mediocre year, and even then Spider-Man probably made up for every single mediocre movie that came out last year, because they had one mediocre year, that automatically means that Disney ruined Marvel. Like, all right, let's hear what he has to say about it though.
In 2021, Marvel produced or helped produce 5 films. Now you say 5 films, well, what do you mean? Well, when I say 5 films, I mean Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, The Eternals, Venom, and Spider-Man. Now, let's look at that. Of all 5 of those movies, which of those movies actually turned a profit? By profit, I mean after you account for the cost of production and the cost of advertising and marketing, which movies actually made a profit, are in the black, made money? Well, that would be Spider-Man and Venom. The Eternals lost money. Black Widow lost money. Shang-Chi may have broken even, but I'm pretty sure after you account for advertising and marketing, lost money.
So because 3 movies in 1 year over a 13-year ownership of Marvel lost money, that means that Disney ruined Marvel. All right, man. Love the logic. Love the reasoning.
So, these 5 movies, 5 films came out under the Marvel banner, under Marvel Disney. Only 2 of them, the 2 that were mostly produced by Sony, made money. Why? Because you can't buy creativity. You can't buy hits. You can buy companies. But when it comes to the special sauce that makes a hit, you have to let the creatives create.
Well, actually, you can buy hits, because a lot of Sony fanboys are crying that games like Spyro and Crash are now going to be exclusive to Xbox. So I would say that Microsoft did, in fact, buy those hits. But then on top of that, if anything, this acquisition is going to allow the creators to create even more, because now Microsoft can inject even more cash and developers into the development of these games. So we could be getting bigger and better games than we've ever seen before, especially since they're cracking down on COD, and it looks like they're not going to be doing yearly releases anymore. It looks like we're actually going to be getting a finished COD for once. So yeah, I think the creators are going to be able to create even more than before they were under Microsoft.
And Disney Marvel is doing a piss poor job of that, and have been since before Endgame.
Really? Because I thought everybody agreed that most Marvel movies that were under Disney before Endgame were pretty fire.
But again, the Marvel hype train was able to facilitate those movies making money, but people are getting smart. COVID taught us one thing and one thing only, is that we as consumers and as fans of things, we don't have to buy anything.
So you're telling me that before COVID, you thought you had to buy everything? Like you just walked into a store and you were like, I must purchase every single item in the store. I know that's not what he meant, but come on, let's have some fun with this. Let's exaggerate a little bit.
There's enough competition out there to where we can ignore whatever the heck we feel like ignoring. And if you don't respect the fans, and if you don't do what we want you to do as entertainers, we can easily put our money back in our pocketbooks and our wallets and go elsewhere. And that is what is happening with Disney Marvel.
So what exactly is your point here? You're literally saying that there's enough competition out there to the point where we don't have to spend our money if we don't want to. What's so bad about that?
People didn't care and they didn't show up. And I don't want to hear the COVID argument of, oh, well, people were so very afraid of the coof that they just weren't going to go out to the movies because Spider-Man did $1 billion. So fear was not a factor when it came to this film. So we can move on from that nonsense. So let's look at Star Wars now. Star Wars was a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Now it is holding on by a thread.
I actually do agree with him on this. The Star Wars franchise was holding on by a thread during The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. But I don't think it's hanging on by a thread anymore because like all the spin-off TV shows that they're doing, everyone seems to love. The Book of Boba Fett that just came out, it's brand new. Like everyone's loving that. And then on top of that, like every single spin-off movie that they've made. Granted, they've only made 2, but I mean, yeah, Solo wasn't that great, but it wasn't terrible either, and Rogue One was really good. So I don't think Star Wars is hanging on by a thread necessarily. I think Star Wars is going to be fine, especially if they keep up the quality of the Disney Plus TV shows they've been putting out. I think Star Wars is going to be just fine.
The only properties that are really generating any type of buzz and or revenue for the Star Wars franchise are The Mandalorian and The Mandalorian. Literally nothing. Nobody is excited for new Star Wars projects.
Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure the Book of Boba Fett has been really well received.
Going forward. That's why there are no real movies being announced or in the works, because they're trying to let that stink that is the sequel trilogy cool off for a bit before they start anything else.
This man is acting like he has insider knowledge into Disney. Like, how do you know they're not working on anything? They released, 6 movies, was it? Over the course of 5 years, 5 movies over the course of 5 years, sorry. So I'd say that was a really good run, in all honesty. And these movies take a while to make. So they haven't announced anything, but that doesn't mean they're not working on anything. So, I don't know why this guy's acting like he has some insider knowledge into Disney, but whatever.
Disney utterly ruined and destroyed a multi-billion-dollar franchise because, again, they didn't let the creatives create.
Actually, they did let the creators create. It's just they let too many different creators create at once. So, I get it. You have to let the creators create, like he's saying, but there needs to be some moderation because you had JJ with The Force Awakens, which, in my opinion, that was a pretty good movie. But then you had Ryan with The Last Jedi, who just threw a wrench into everything, and then JJ had to try to bring it all back while also giving the middle finger to The Last Jedi in The Rise of Skywalker. So, if anything, you could argue that Star Wars was ruined because Disney let the creators create too much, and it just so happens that the creators created a whole steaming pile of poop.
The people, executive producers like Kathleen Kennedy and even Bob Iger himself, allowed Star Wars, and in Kathleen Kennedy's case, actively facilitated the ruining of a money printing machine because you can't buy hits. You have to let the creatives create.
Again, like I said earlier, you can buy hits because they bought Star Wars. Star Wars was a hit. They let the creators create. It worked out for the first couple of years, but then when they let too many creators create, it just didn't work out for them. So I know I'm repeating myself, but if he's going to repeat himself, I have to repeat myself.
Star Wars, after The Last Jedi, lost money.
This is just a flat out lie. And honestly, this is where the video kind of gets to him being in the mentality of throwing enough crap against a wall and hoping something sticks. Where now he's just going to be throwing out a bunch of random numbers and just stats and stuff. And he's going to try to claim that it's fact. And he's just going to hope that one thing he says is true. So that if he gets proven wrong on anything, he can fall back on that and say, well, I was right about this. Because, yeah, The Last Jedi was not a very good movie, at least in my opinion. But it's still a quick 30-second Google search will tell you it turned over a $400 million profit. So you're just straight up lying at this point, dude.
Diminishing return upon diminishing return happened because Disney felt that the IP and the Star Wars logo could shield them from any type of criticism, and they were dead wrong. So I ask you, in the case of Microsoft, when we're looking forward to the games that are produced, because it will be, I'd say, if we had to give a real number on it, it'll probably be between 2 and 5 years before any of these real acquisitions start to bear fruit for Microsoft.
Again, just throwing crap against a wall and hoping something sticks. How do you know? Where are you getting this 2 to 5 years from? Where are you getting that from? And also, what didn't it just come out a couple days ago that didn't it get leaked that a bunch of Bethesda titles are in the works that are going to potentially be exclusive to Xbox? Where are you getting this 2 to 5 years from, dude? Come on, man.
We will see what happens. I guarantee you that if any of these studios produce anything less than hits, the heavy hand of Microsoft will come down, and all the creativity that these studios were once known for will be literally wrung out of them like a wet dish rag.
I mean, didn't Microsoft buy both these studios when they were arguably at their lowest creative points? Like with Bethesda, the only thing they had going for them in 2020, really, like correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure the only thing they had going for them in 2020 was Doom Eternal, and that was basically it. And then Activision as well. Like, have you not seen all the complaints about like Cold War and Vanguard just like not being anything special, being extremely boring? Like, these companies have been starved of all their creativity besides, like, you know, Doom Eternal and Bethesda's case. And I love Vanguard, but it's really just not very creative at all. It's basically Modern Warfare 2019, but in a World War II setting. So, I mean, arguably, they were at their lowest points in creativity when they were acquired. So now, I mean, once you hit rock bottom, the only way you can go is up, right? Top of that, does this dude not realize that wringing the creativity out of them would actually be a good thing if you think about it? Because that means you're getting every last drop of creativity you can out of them. Also, like I said earlier, I think this acquisition is going to let Activision be even more creative because they're going to have more money and developers to work with if Microsoft decides to inject any money or send more developers in. So again, like, I think this is a really great opportunity for Activision. I think they could create bigger and better games than they ever have before, but hey, that could just be my opinion.
That's what's going to happen. We saw this already. We've seen this. We've heard this song before, and we skipped to the next one. If you don't believe me, think about what happened to Bungie. Where is Bungie now? Bungie was under Microsoft and then under Activision, and now they are on their own.
Yes, and I think most people would agree that they were in their best state when they were under Microsoft because they made all the great Halo games. So what exactly is your point here?
Because they wouldn't let the creatives create.
They created all the best Halo games in the entire series, and they created, you know, the Halo IP itself. So I don't really know what you're talking about, dude. And let's not forget the fact that they created Destiny 1 and 2, you know, kind of an important thing to note.
Microsoft tried to put all of their hands in what Bungie was doing with different projects, whether that be Halo or Destiny. And so Bungie walked away from their own property in the case of Halo.
And as a result, we got Halo 5 and 4. Like, what exactly is your point here? You're literally disproving yourself because, like, as soon as Bungie walked away from Microsoft and stopped, like, being like, once they stopped making the Halo games saw a dramatic drop in quality. Like, yeah, Halo Infinite's pretty good, but it's still nowhere near as good as the Halos that Bungie made. So I don't really know what your point is, dude.
In the case of Destiny, they had to literally get that away from Activision just so that they could have the control and the ability to create in the way that they wanted to. And now these two companies have joined forces. What you're not understanding is that Microsoft's place in the gaming ecosystem when they first started was to bring balance to a gaming landscape that was mostly dominated by the Japanese. Think about that. Prior to Microsoft's Xbox, every console was owned by a Japanese company. The ability for the West to come in and have their own console literally made the Japanese look twice at the gaming landscape, and that was for the betterment of all gamers.
So this is what I don't get. This dude is literally disproving himself at every opportunity. He just said every single video game console was owned by the Japanese before Microsoft stepped in. And by the way, dude, it was not to bring balance to gaming. It was so Microsoft could enter a new division, the gaming division, so they could make more money. Come on, like that should be pretty obvious. But like, you literally admit that Microsoft stepped in and then it created a healthy balance. So I don't really see what the problem is here, because like this is such a horrible example to use if you're trying to prove that Microsoft buying Activision is bad, because you're literally admitting that like whenever Microsoft like sticks their foot in somewhere, it always ends up bringing healthy competition. So like you're really just disproving yourself at this point.
Now, with Microsoft strong-arming and purchasing all of these different companies and all of these different developers, what's going to end up happening is that the Japanese are now going to have to refocus. Nintendo and Sony are going to have to refocus on doing what they do best,
So it's bad that Microsoft is buying Activision because it's creating healthy competition and it's going to force Sony and Nintendo to start stepping up their game and being better companies overall. Like, what is the problem here? Am I missing something?
The only company that has ever managed to purchase different studios and still produce hit after hit after hit has been Sony. And that is because they let the creators create.
Am I the only one who thinks this dude is starting to sound really salty at this point? Like, he sounds really upset that Microsoft bought Activision. But at the same time, like, so apparently Sony, it's okay when they buy developers because they're going to let the creators create because they're Sony. But then Microsoft, it's not okay because they're Microsoft. Like, he is quite literally saying it's okay for Sony to do it because they're Sony, but it's not okay for Microsoft to do it because they're Microsoft. Like, this is the definition of a fanboy.
Nintendo does what they do best because they foster their own intellectual properties that they already own and have cultivated over many years. What Microsoft is doing, mark my words, will hurt gaming forever.
Do you have any examples of how this is going to hurt gaming forever? Because literally all you've done is given examples of how this is going to help gaming. It's going to create healthy competition and it's going to allow the creators to create even more. Like, what is the problem here? This dude was quite literally looking for any reason to hate on Microsoft.
But hey, you don't have to believe me. All you have to do is look at history. But hey, you feel some kind of way, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you think I'm off base.
I don't think there's even a question at this point.
If I'm just being a hater, or if you get the impression that I just hate Xbox, but which, by the way, I don't. I do believe that Microsoft's Xbox needs to exist in order to keep balance in the gaming industry. This is what mature gamers do. Mature gamers, they purchase every console that they can get because it's all about the games at the end of the day.
So now you can only be considered a mature gamer if you buy every single console. Like, what is this dude even talking about at this point?
And a market that has healthy competition is a market that's going to flourish. But what this is not that.
So let me get this straight. This acquisition is going to force Nintendo and Sony to better themselves as companies overall and give people a better value for their money, create better games, better consoles, whatever you want to say. And that's not healthy competition. Like, that is the literal definition of healthy competition. Like, Microsoft is forcing their hand here. And like, if we're going to see only improvements in the gaming industry as a result of this, then like, how is that not healthy competition?
So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.
And that right there is the end of the video. So basically what we learned from this video is that it's bad that Microsoft is buying Activision because it creates healthy competition, even though that's exactly what this dude wants. And honestly, this video, it really just felt like, dude, honestly, if you're watching this, it really just felt like, and it came across like you just wanted to find a reason to complain about this for some easy clickbait views, which, hey, I can't really blame you because if I'm being completely honest, like, I'm capitalizing off of this right now by, you know, responding to fanboys like yourself. So definitely do better in the future, dude. This video just seemed very pointless overall. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like if you liked it, sub if you want to, dislike the video if you didn't like it, and I will catch you guys in the next one.